What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Hippo Supercoach, and today we're going to be going over some of the premiums before we actually start having the team picker in our hands. And I know it's early, it's the 8th of December. I think it's probably the earliest I've ever uploaded in the few years that I've done this channel. So yeah, it's quite early, but I'm pretty keen and haven't looked too hard into fixtures yet. So obviously we'll get a clearer view once I know who's got the real easy draw. I think Zach Butters was the main one that I saw that had a really nice draw early. But we're going to talk about the premiums today for 2026 and who I think are the locks, the likely start, and the never agains. So we'll go through my team. Didn't finish too well. Ran out of trades once again. It's like I never learn. This year I was kind of caught in a position where I had to kind of chase the ranking because I was ranked like in the 100. So I really pushed hard for the ranking, but did sort of realize that I was going to fall short and lose some trades. And yeah, played aggressive, didn't get there in the end. But yeah, it was a fun season nonetheless, and plenty of ups and downs. So you gotta really prepare for that because yeah, I was hoping that the premiums that I had when I was flying were going to hold. Guys like Chera, probably other guys. I can't even remember who was in my team to be honest, but Adam Chera was one that I thought. I think Bailey Dale was flying at the start of the year. So yeah, look, it can turn upside down pretty quick. But yeah, lesson learned. Hold your trades. Anyway, let's not dwell on last year too much. Let's talk about the absolute locks. And I've thought about this, and honestly, the only guys that come to mind are Bont and Butters. And it's just because like you can tag them, but they're still going to find a way to get it done. Bont with a 131 average last year, Butters with a 121. So it's like these guys are so reliable. They get it done every week. It's going to be hard, the whole ruck discussion with the Grundy, Cherry, Gorn. I don't think structurally you could pick all three. I know technically you can. Salary cap, it's going to be very hard just because obviously, we have only $10 million. And I think those guys all combined are like 2 mil. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting discussion point over the preseason is can you start all three? I don't think you can personally, but damn, it would be nice to have them. I think at the end of the day, you just got to look at the draws and see who hopefully has a few down games and maybe comes down in price a little bit. Out of the three, what are the two that you pick? Or what's the one that you pick? I have no idea. I think Tristan Cherry is probably the best bet just because age is on his side, whereas Gorn and Grundy are a bit older. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to put Cherry in the locks. Oops, sorry if that was really loud. I just hit my mic. I'm going to put Cherry in the locks for now. Moving down the list, I think Baz is another good option. Matt Rowell as well. I mean, his last game was a 67, but adding Petrarca to that midfield, it's going to be pretty crazy what that team can get up to. I don't know what the potential is for that team. If Track can get back to his career best, it's going to be a scary team to come up against with Rowell, Anderson and Petrarca, but we'll see. Yeah, going down the list, McCluggage is always a great option, really solid. Under the radar this year, really underrated. So he's an interesting one that you definitely could pick. Probably going to be a pod again. I do think tags start going to him over Neil, just naturally. Neil's getting older. McCluggage is right in the prime of his career. So I think attention comes McCluggage's way. But you just never know. Teams love to tag Lockie Neal, so you never fully know who they're going to go to. Dacos is always going to be an interesting one just because cops so much attention and it's really hard to shake tags when you're getting him every week. I think to come second in the Brownlow was pretty crazy considering he got tagged so much last year and Matt Rao barely copped it. I reckon he might have copped 1 or 2 tags for the year. Don't quote me on it, but just watching to the naked eye, didn't cop much attention at all. Nothing compared to Dacos. So that's the thing. When you pick guys like Nick Dacos, you got to know that tags are coming. He's probably going to be the most tagged player of the year last year, and he's going to be just the same issue. He's only going to get better. So, yeah, I don't think teams are going to just start dropping the tags. Wangani Malera is an interesting one because I don't know if he lost DPP, or lost defender status. I think he might be a mid only this year. I'm not sure on that one. Man, I was looking for some sort of resource to go off on all the DPPs, and they're all like locked behind a paywall. It's crazy. I think like it's public information. Just let us have it. Like I get insights and stuff to be paid by the experts, whatnot. But come on, like this is going to be public information in a week when the team picker comes out. So it's crazy. Anyway, Anderson's another one. Cops tags, but gee, he had a good year last year. The other one that I'm probably going to likely start is Lockie Whitfield. I think nice draw early. Don't need his full name. Yeah, Whitfield's on the likely start at the moment. Yeah, just think he's too good. The role's amazing. Plenty of ball down there. Takes the kick-ins. Obviously, stat pads, we know they love the ball in his hands. So, he's a pretty safe option as a defender. We'll go through a bit more and then we'll go through the never agains. Yeah, Jack Sinclair's an interesting one. I think he's defender. Averaged the 112. I probably will put him in the likely start just because I'm not sure, and Sheasel too, not sure how that backline's going to look. And I think I want guys that I can trust. That's another thing. I really want premiums this year that I can bank on. And I don't like. There's so many fake premiums last year. The other one is Will Ashcroft. I think, yeah, just two Norm Smiths before 22 or however old he is. He's a freak, and yeah, I think he's only going to get better. Don't think teams will tag him. Not over Neil and McCluggage. Could be wrong. Teams might start going to him, but I don't think he gets enough CBAs for teams to actually put a clamp on him. But we'll see. He's going to be their main guy in that midfield once Neil goes and McCluggage. So, yeah, wait and see. But I think Ashcroft, yeah, his career trajectory is crazy. So, yep. Next, we'll talk about Tom Green, Libba, Ed Richards is another one that I think I'll probably start just because doesn't cop much attention at all. Really underrated, 111, solid, solid scores every week for you. Someone you can bank on to be around the mark, top 8. Probably not, on the high end of that, but in the bottom end of that top 8, I think you could probably bank on him to finish around there. A nice age as well. I think he's in mid-20s, something like that. So, yeah, and like I said, no attention. That's the main theme with some of these guys. Now, Bont and Butters, yeah, they're going to cop tags at times, but it seems like they can handle them. They find a way to get to the top of the rankings every year. And then, so if I looked at my actual, defending midfield, ruck, and forward, I know we're going to have the team picker in not long, so it's a little bit counterintuitive doing this, but Whitfield, Sinclair, Shees, and in the midfield, it's looking like the two Ubers with Bont, Butters, and then guys like Ashcroft, Richards, and you probably want one more in there. I don't like the 4 premium mid starting. Who would be the other mid that I would pick? It could be one of the Gold Coast boys. Not sure. I can't believe Matt Rell averaged 119 in the end. That's crazy. I mean, I remember making a video on how he's hired a sprint coach and all this stuff and how he's going to be unreal. And then I think he pumped out 360s in a row and then he went bang after that. Pretty crazy him winning the Brownlow, by the way. I don't think he was kind of around the mark, but I don't think many people expected that. I certainly didn't. Baz is another one. Don't think teams will tag him over Holmes. Holmes is clearly more damaging, so it probably would be the midfield probably would be Baz. I love Baz's work rate. So I'd probably look something like that. Yeah, those 5 premiums I really like. Then you chuck a Jagger Smith and some more rookies in, and obviously there will be mid prices popping up, no doubt about it. So this is not even close to my set team, but at the moment this is kind of how it's looking. Tristan Cherry in the ruck, and then I think Rankin's just about the only forward that looks good at the moment. So yeah, we'll chuck him in the likely start. ranking. So this is how it's looking so far. We'll go through the never agains. This is a bit of fun. Look at last year. Who burnt me to a crisp? I mean, obviously Todd Goldstein was a pivotal moment in my season. If anyone's followed the channel, I brought him in. I think for not Gorn. Can't remember who I traded him for. I think it was DeConing and he got injured or something. It was a real pod player and just, yeah, thought he might be able to crack a ton every week, but yeah, he was so old. Yeah, anyway, I won't dwell on it too much. Look, Sam Darcy's an interesting one as well because really some real low scores in there. Caleb Daniel's not going to be a forward next year. Bailey Humphrey was shocking. Yeah, I'll probably put Humphrey on the never again, to be honest. Jack Steele as well. I know he's at Melbourne now, better ruckman. Look, I'm not buying the hype. I think his body's a little bit cooked. Could be wrong. Maybe he bounces back and, you know, at the end of the day, he's a captain that got traded. So if anyone's going to have a chip on the shoulder, it's probably going to be him. But look, unless he's absolutely flying out of stoppages in the preseason, I don't think I'm going near Jack Steele. In terms of the mids, Connor Rosé is another one. If he's defender, which he should be, he will be in there. So can you do this structure where you start 4, 5, 2, and maybe 1 in the forward line? You probably could. But yeah, we'd have to wait and see. Yeah, look, the Freo guys, it's just more of like who gets tagged out of the two. Probably put Dane Zorko on the never again. He really sucked at the end. Bailey Dale as well, like so hot and cold. Yeah, not happy at all about him. Yeah, it's hard to know exactly who the worst ones were just because I would have traded him out. I guess I could have a look at my history. What is it? Trade history? Quickly just bring this up. Trade history. Oh, DeConing. DeConing will be on the never agains. Jaden Short. Yeah, Short. DeConing. Yeah, those guys can... Yeah, they're on the never agains. Short and TDK. Yeah. Anyway, that's probably going to do it for the video. It's just how the structure I'm thinking, and just trying to get some clarity on the premiums that I want, because at the end of the day, you need premiums you can trust. Oh, Adam Chera as well is actually at the start of this list. He was great, like early on, just really solid tons, but yeah, just kind of sucked in the end and put me in a weird spot where I couldn't really trade him out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Hope everyone enjoyed. I don't know if everyone's into Supercoach right now. I don't really expect this to get too many views just because it's still early December and most people aren't going to jump back into the hype until, you know, at least January, which is fair enough. I just thought, kind of had the itch to talk some Supercoach because burnt out towards the end of last year. I was going to play the Supercoach finals, make some content, but yeah, just wasn't feeling it. So, I wanted to play the NBA, the Big Bash one, but it's just, yeah, I'm not as passionate. So something I'm not passionate about, I can't be like half-assed about it. Yeah, I just kind of make a team, give up in like a week. But obviously AFL Supercoach is what we all kind of play for. So yeah, I feel rejuvenated with the game. And if you guys were watching, you would have known how burnt out I was last year. But yeah, feeling good about 2026. Hopefully a better year, hold some more trades, don't start as many duds. Yeah, that's it for the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.